Sunday, we have a magnificent program with three major and important works of the last century. To begin with, we have Bartók's Contrasts. This is a piece which was commissioned by the great jazz clarinetist Benny Goodman. Benny Goodman was also a serious classical performer, and he actually commissioned a couple of other important clarinet concertos by Copland. This is a piece that was arranged to be commissioned by Bartók's great friend Ligeti, who was the violinist that he played with. And Ligeti was very interested in jazz, knew about Benny Goodman, talked to him, arranged for the Goodman and Bartók to meet each other, and hence this piece for clarinet, piano, and violin. One of the stipulations of the commission was that the piece should be short enough to fit on two sides of a 78 RPM recording, which at that time was about 5 or 6 minutes on each side. So originally there were two movements, but then Bartók added a third movement. This is an amazingly exciting piece. It's not really based on or sounding like jazz, but there is a kind of jazziness to Bartók's writing to begin with, which fits perfectly with Benny Goodman's style. And the title, Contrasts, refers to the different sounds of these three instruments, which are completely different. The clarinet, a wind instrument, violin, and piano. And part of what Bartók does in the outer movements is make this contrast in sound very clear. The middle movement is one of his most fantastic evocations of night, often called night music, which happens in many of his pieces, but this is particularly a good one. Following this, we have the immensely important Horn Trio by György Ligeti. This is the first major horn trio to be written after Brahms, and it's titled as an homage to Brahms. There's very little in it that sounds like Brahms, but the combination of these three instruments, horn, violin, and piano, have a particular world. Ligeti was very adventuresome. He asks for the players to do things which are immensely difficult, particularly the horn has to play extreme notes, both in the high register and even more so in the very, very, very low register. The piece is in 4 movements, and particularly interesting is the second movement, which is a kind of a scherzo with incredibly interesting rhythms and propulsion. And this piece is very impactful in its extreme emotions. It's powerful, mesmerizing, and takes 3 immensely capable musicians to play it. After intermission, we have a major work by the Romanian composer Soyeon Enescu. Enescu was a true child prodigy, going to the Vienna Conservatory at the age of 7. He was a great, great violinist, and growing up, had the opportunity to play in the orchestra, which was conducted by Brahms. Later went to Paris, where he was in the class with Ravel, studying with Fauré. And so these huge influences of arch romantic composers and transitioning into the 20th century. He wrote this octet at the age of 19, so very young, just out of school. And it's a massive work, about 40 minutes long, 4 movements, amazing sound, really orchestral, sounds like a huge string orchestra. In fact, there is a version of this 4-string orchestra, but the 8 players that we have suffice. It's a very romantic piece, very intense, fast, slow, everything you want, and its own world.